Good morning, everyone gathered here. I am delightful to welcome you all to this webinar session organized by our MECH Alumni Association. Today's session on enterprise asset management systems will give us valuable insights into managing business resources efficiently. We are honored to have Mr. P. Kasirajan with us, a proud alumnus of our 2003 mechanical engineering batch. He's having a 70 plus years of industrial experience. He is an expert in ERP implementation, procurement, and digital transformation. Currently, he works as an ERP product manager at Emirates Flight Catering, handling enterprise solutions for supply chain and procurement systems. He successfully led multiple ERP and P2P system integration, including his notable contribution to Expo 2020 Dubai. His enterprise in business process optimization and IT solutions makes him the perfect resource person for today's session. We are excited to hear from him and learn from his experiences. Let's give you a warm welcome to Mr. P. Kasirajan. Thank you all.
Thank you, Nitin.
Sir, you can start the webinar.
Sure, Rikesh. I'm sharing my screen. Just let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Up arrow button up arrow button first share out. Here on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th button. Google Meet. Presentation. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, done.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining. I think Nitin has already given an introduction about myself, so I will skip the screen. Okay, so today we are going to talk about enterprise asset management. In industry, we call it as an EAM, the short form of enterprise asset management. So in enterprise asset management, to give a brief, what it covers, it covers the assets primarily. If you're talking about enterprise asset management, asset is the key. So asset in the sense you have movable assets and immovable assets. Movable primarily we are talking about movable assets, where in enterprise asset management that plays a key role. So if you talk about an fleet or a vehicle or our daily used cars or heavy machineries or laptops, computers, PCs, and the machines we use in our engineering labs and other areas. So that is at a high level, we call it as an asset. So what we use as an asset is it depends on various parameters. It depends on the size of the asset, value of the assets, and whether it is a live asset, active assets, or a passive assets. So in terms of maintaining the assets, we use different systems. We use various methods to record the assets. So we are in the current world, we use a multiple system to record assets, because when we procure an asset, to record it somewhere, right? So we need to record the assets, and then we need to take care of how the assets are maintained. That is why we call it as a life cycle of assets. Life cycle where until the start date of the assets, until when we depreciate or we dispose the assets. So it is an entire life cycle end to end, when the asset comes in and then it gets disposed. And also we use multiple software to track the health of the assets, and also obviously we use we'll be using track the efficiency of assets. Like we have few, for example, if you take a machinery in our mechanical lab, we would have purchased a few years back. So we need to know the exact date of onboarding of assets or onboarding of the equipments, right? So that is where it triggers how this from which supplier this was purchased, what is the size of the particular equipment, and from where this was purchased, what is the warranty of this particular equipment, and how long this will run, and are we doing a proper maintenance of the assets. So these are all the particular health check or the equipment maintenance, how we are capturing the maintenance. So that is the entire life cycle, and also how we capture the efficiency of the assets so that we can track the assets effectively. And then in case of any maintenance, we know, yes, this assets was purchased in 20 years back, which needs an which needs a disposal, or since if it is in creating a lot of noise or disturbance to the environment, we go and action on disposing assets. So this entire enterprise asset management talks about the life cycle of asset, how we handle assets. Okay, so in terms of multiple components within enterprise asset management, we have asset life cycle. As I told, uh, the end-to-end life cycle, how we manage the end-to-end life cycle of assets.
1 minute, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, நீங்க screen particular window மட்டும் ஷேர் பண்றீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். First slide அது freeze ஆயிருக்கு. Screenல slides move.
Okay.
Share everything அப்படிங்கறத மட்டும் choose பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா entire display ஆகும், sir.
Okay, let me check that. Sorry.
Please, sir.
You're able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Perfect, sir.
Okay, so I'm now on EAM components. This EAM brief. Okay, so next slide is about EAM components, which is enterprise asset management components. So one is the asset life cycle management of end-to-end of item, the equipment coming in, and then we are disposing assets. That covers the entire life cycle life cycle of the assets. And we do as another component is the preventive and predictive maintenance of the assets. Like as I said, when an equipment gets onboarded or a machinery gets onboarded, in maintenance is a key. So all equipments needs an maintenance. So whether it is in preventive, where we have certain periods, once in a month or once in 3 months, or quarterly, half-yearly, and then yearly maintenance activity. So this is a primary key component to have the life cycle of to the health of the assets consistently. So in terms of preventive maintenance, what the industry practices every week, it depends on the type of the assets or the nature of the equipment. They do a preventive maintenance every day. There are equipments where every day maintenance activity happens every 12 hours, that has to go for a preventive maintenance, or every 30 days it has to go for preventive maintenance. That is in terms of the preventive maintenance. And the predictive maintenance is there are certain alerts and notification which generates for in a particular machines or any equipments. It says that this particular spare part is going to get faulty. So based on that, it generates a predictive maintenance alert. So all these alerts are very critical, and then it has to be attended on time. Otherwise, it affects the health of the assets or the health of the equipments. So how do we do it? If we the traditional way is we used to maintain in a small earlier. Used to write it in a piece of a notebook, where this is the equipment and this was done. This was done on time, and then we used to maintain it in a small notebook. But now what we do is we have a last week this maintenance was done, and then somebody will sign it and we say no, and then we do next maintenance. That is the old way of doing maintenance activity. So latest technology, we have many systems in place where we do capture the maintenance, both preventive or corrective, and then that is that will trigger automatically an alert, or if it is a preventive maintenance, it generates the work order. So work order in the sense it generates for a particular assets. Yes, next today there is an preventive maintenance activity required. So it notifies, it generates the. So I think, okay. Anyone has a doubt?
No, sir, no.
Okay, I'll continue. Sorry for that. Okay, so work order, what it generates is once the preventive or predictive maintenance alert is generated and work order is generated. So what work order would look like is, yes, this equipment as last 1 week this maintenance was not done, and then it generates the work order. So that is how the enterprise asset management triggers the work order. And also it work order will tell what is the spare parts needs to be used, what are all components involved as part of the work order, and based on that it generates the necessary steps to do and preventive maintenance of the particular equipment. Once we do a particular maintenance activity, we would know that yes, last 1 week or last 1 month, these are all the activities which has been carried out that would use for the reporting and analytics purpose. So all these activities are maintained in a system. Earlier, as I said, it used to be in a manual logbook, and then we migrated to an Excel-based system, and then now we have a lot of tools. You would know a lot of enterprise asset management tool where all this records gets automatically recorded into the system, and then system generates all the alerts, system generates the work order management. So that is why we use an enterprise product called an ERP system, where whether it is an ERP, it's an Oracle ERP or an SAP ERP, it captures all this information, and it records all the information like when this assets got purchased, when this last maintenance was done, and when is the next preventive maintenance is due. So that is how the system plays a role. An ERP system, the enterprise resource planning system, plays a role in capturing all this information. So basically, an ERP system records this information, and then it automatically triggers an alert, and that will be used for your reporting and analytics purpose. So that everybody, the management, knows that yes, this equipment has undergone an maintenance activity a week back or a year back, and this particular asserts on equipment has gone for so many maintenance which was not supposed to be. That will help in in a year, once in a month, but because of repairs or unplanned maintenance, this equipment has gone for more than 12 times. So what that tells, yes, this equipment is seems to be a faulty equipment, and it is giving in a lot of trouble, a lot of noises, which is that is why it's creating a maintenance activity. if all these informations are available in an enterprise resource planning, which is ERP system, whether it could be, when I talk about an ERP system, it could be in SAP ERP, or it could be an Oracle ERP, or any other ERPs. With a lot of ERP products available in the market, which can be used to record in terms of maintaining the inventory for that equipment. If we talk about an equipment will have thousands of hundreds of spare parts, right? So we need to maintain an bill of material for that. So an equipment, a lathe machine which has so many components, for example, it will have, for example, it has got 100 spare parts that needs to be maintained in the inventory management. So if you talk about inventory management, it tells about it says yes, equipment and lathe machine which has got component A, component B, and what is the specification of the equipment, what is the quantity of the spare parts which is used for that particular machinery. And it also tells how many component I have in inventory, how many spare parts I have in stock, and how many I should have it. So all these are all maintained as part of the bill of material. We call it as an bill of material, or in general terms, we call it as an bill of quantity. So that BOM or the bill of material will exactly tells us yes, this equipment is the parent equipment, and child is and has got hundreds of components into it, and that will exactly tells how many screws, how many bolts, how many nuts, how many compressors. So that bill of material or the BOM will tell us the breakup of all the spare parts within the equipments. So all these are all maintained within the ERP system. So that would exactly tells us yes, if you want to break down an equipment, or if you want to know what is the spare parts attached to the particular equipment, if you go to the bill of material and see yes, these are all the list of components attached to the equipment, and what are all the spares involved, what are all the accessories involved, whether I have the inventory in place for that spare parts, what if and one of the component has gone on to a repair and that needs a replacement parts. If we exactly have the systems in place, that will exactly tell yes, the component A has gone faulty, and I have some inventory in place which I can replace with it, so that that equipment can be quickly actioned upon against the work order, and then the equipment can function normally. If we don't have a spare parts in place or an inventory not in place, then what we have to do is we have to reach out to the particular equipment supplier or the vendor, and ask them to supply the spare parts, right? So we depends on the nature of spare parts. We sometimes we hold the inventory in the sense we keep some spare parts in our inventory management, so that that spare parts can be used. Or sometimes due to the size of the, we cannot hold a big compressor in our stock. The chances of going wrong, which is very less. Maybe some components, belts. Yes, if you talk about a belt, yes, it could go wrong after a certain period. So we can keep the spare parts in our inventory. So based on the value of the spare parts, based on the wear and tear of the spare parts, we keep the inventory, and that will be used for maintaining the inventory as well as replacing it. So that covers the inventory and spare parts management. And then the compliance and safety. Yes, this is one of the key component when it comes to compliance and safety. The compliance, we need to comply to the safe health and safety management, saying that yes, this equipment has completely gone through an maintenance activity, so that this equipments will not give an faulty and give any problem for the technician or the engineers who's handling it. And for the health and safety of the equipment, whether it is a technician or for the industry to maintain, it is mandatory to do an regular health check. So if when it comes to health check, and a regular health check needs to be conducted for the particular equipment, so that that equipment will run smoothly as per the requirement. Otherwise, if you don't do any health check of an equipment, that equipment will will fail, or it will stop functioning, or it will not behave as we expected. So that is why the compliance and safety is a critical part, right? And finally, the reporting and analytics. Reporting and analytics, what it happens is whenever a work order is entered for an maintenance or predictive or preventive maintenance, starts storing the information. Storing the information since this particular work order was done a month back. So many on what was the parts replaced, what was the spare parts replaced, and whether every time when we do a preventive maintenance work order, whether this spare parts is getting continuously replaced or not. That would exactly tells us yet this spare parts is creating a problem, and every time the problem is reoccurring. So that means this spare parts having an issue. So that will help the management team or the senior leadership team, saying that yes, there is a problem with that particular equipment which needs to be analyzed, or which needs to rechecked again, so that that either the equipment can be replaced completely, or an component of that equipment can be replaced with a new equipment or new spare parts. That is why there's a lot of tools which is available for reporting. You would have heard about Microsoft Power BI. You have heard about Oracle Data Analytics. There's a lot of tools available in the markets which will connect with the ERP system and tells yes, these are all the data. Based on the work order data, or based on the maintenance information, it tells yes, last 1 year this equipment has gone for a lot of repairs. So you analyze, and then it will tells yes, tells that this spare parts has gone for a repair 12 times in last 12 months. So that means that equipment is faulty, or this is another equipment. So that is the reporting and analytics tool, which helps the team, or helps the leadership team, and exactly analyze and then provide insights. So multiple system plays a role. While ERP system plays a role in terms of data capture, then it helps everyone to analyze and then take necessary or any actions based on that. That is why multiple systems plays a role in the enterprise asset management. So on the right hand side, you would see a diagram which talks about planning, execution, and control. So what happens is this is the entire life cycle of an enterprise asset management, where it captures the inventory, it captures the material, how much material to be used, and the day-to-day work management, work orders, and all, and maintenance management. I covered this here as preventive and predictive maintenance, and then the calibration management. So calibration management is primarily every certain equipments or a weighing machine, which, for example, it needs a calibration every week or every month. So that needs to be calibrated every time. Even an equipment needs a calibration, or a drill machine needs a calibration. So calibration is one and another key component as part of the entire life cycle. And the failure management. We talked about the reporting and analytics. So failure management always refers to the reporting analytics, how much time the particular equipment failed, and what is the preventive steps or the corrective steps to analyze the problem and then fix it. Right. And then the service management. So service management covers the monthly and yearly and quarterly service management. So that is all maintained in an system. Yes, as I said, it could we used to maintain this in Excel, in a spreadsheet, or in a piece of paper.
Sir,
That may
sorry to
not be
interrupt.
yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. EAM component slide only displaying in the presentation, sir.
Okay.
You just kindly change the PPT.
Can you see
It's
now?
not. No, sir. Yeah, now it is visible. Asset in key onboard
Okay.
of assets. Onboarding of
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm now. I'll come to this slide. So I'll let me complete this. I'm still on the EAM component slide, and then I'll come to the next slide.
So whenever you are changing the slide, next slide like that, you just give one hint, and we will identify whether the slide is
Yes.
changing or not.
Okay, sure. Noted. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the next slide, which is the key. The asset is the key onboarding of assets. Okay, so assets. When we talk about assets, it is and how we procure the assets, how we get the assets to the facility. For example, again, I'll take the same example of an lathe machine which is coming to our mechanical lab. How we take that machine into the system. So. One of the staff who will raise requests, and then it goes to the HOD for approval, and then it will go to, we identify who is the, suppose I need a late machine, and our staff needs a late machine. It goes for the department approval, HOD approval, and then the based on the different levels of approval. Once it is approved by the head of the department, it goes to the next step of who can supply the assets. If a late machine is being planned for the procurement,
Asina, Sir? Sir, can you hear me? இல்ல ஒரு ஹேண்ட் ரைஸ் பண்ணு அதுவும் நினைக்கிறேன் The mic is not working. நீங்க மெசேஜ் போட்டு mic is not working. இல்ல உங்களுக்கு அதிலே காட்டு. நீங்க மெசேஜ்ல போட்டு mic is not working.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, can you see the assert is the key as a slide?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, so all this entire life cycle of particular equipment needs to be captured within the ERP system, so that even when the assert comes into the facility, and then we should know that this assert was raised by this person, approved by this person, and then verified this by this person, and it will also tells us from where this asset was purchased. If we don't have any of this information within the system, then that creates a lot of difficulty. And then over after 5 years or 10 years, if you don't have this, any of the information, you will not be able to identify that particular equipment was supplied by which supplier, who has approved this. So if it creates major accidents, for example, we would know if you want to track the entire history of the whole life cycle. If we have a system in place, it exactly tells us, yes, this employee has raised it, this person has approved it, and this came from this particular vendor against this purchase order. So it will have the complete visibility of the life cycle of the equipment. That is why the enterprise resource planning system plays a major role in any organization, whether it could be an onboarding of asset or procurement of any new asset coming into a facility. So that is why I said asset is the key. So that is the because it's all sometimes it could be a high value item, it could be in the value of the assets could be very high. So we should have a proper audit trial in place. That is why the ERP systems helps the big organization to record all this information, so that it can be tracked, the entire life cycle of the assets can be tracked, right? So this is then a high level picture of how an onboarding of assets happens in an industry, right? So that is why I thought of showing this slide, how when assets can come into the facility, how the entire life cycle of assets is being captured, and how this is recorded. It is when the assets come into the picture, that is where the asset life cycle starts. So this is like an date of joining, date of onboarding of assets. So it will, for example, if an employee needs a laptop, it goes to the entire process of reaching out, purchase orders raised, and then and the laptop is handed over to an employee, and then an IT team checks how it has been used, how it has been managed, and then so that it tracks the entire life cycle. So everybody would have a visibility. Yes, this particular laptop was handed over to an employee, and this staff is using it, right? So that the entire life cycle is getting tracked. Okay, now I'm moving to the next slide, the equipment life cycle. For example, the equipment life cycle, in the sense, for this, the equipment is connected to different modules. I think you would have seen some of the information in the previous slide. Equipment connected with the work order, connected with the maintenance, inspections, MRO. MRO is maintenance, repair, and operations, inventory, purchasing, the scheduling and dispatch, and then the geographical information systems. So this equipment is connected with various connectors. If the equipment does not have all this information around it, the life cycle will go for it. Now, will not be able to track the life cycle of the equipment, right? So for an equipment to work, function properly, or to function effectively, this component needs to be in place. So as I said in the previous one, work order is the key. When an equipment is installed and a machine starts working fine, it will run for a certain period of time, but it requires and regular health checks. That is why the work order is required, preventive maintenance required, and inspection every few months or every few weeks. It requires an inspection, and the spare parts. Maintaining the inventory is important, and then purchasing the inventory from the suppliers is important, and the scheduling and dispatch, at what interval, and the scheduling needs to be happen, and the geographic is where this is located. There are equipments, for example, and if we talk about an in around the college, we have a lot of windmill, right? So the windmill is considered as an equipment. So the windmill cannot, once we install the windmill, it will not work as a once it is installed, it will not work without an preventive maintenance activity. That goes for a regular preventive maintenance activity, right? So a particular engineer will schedule a visit to the windmill, and you will do a proper maintenance. Otherwise, the fans or the motors won't work. So that windmill requires a proper preventive maintenance activity. For that, what they do is there are hundreds of windmills around. You would have seen in near our college, we have so many windmills. So it is all maintained in the respective systems. The respective, whether it is in Suzlon or whether it is in any other company, they must be having their own ERP platform where the equipments are all maintained. It generates the work order, and then it is given to the technicians to inspect this. And if the particular motors or the blade goes for an repair or needs to be replaced, it takes from the maintenance, repairs, and operations inventory, and then it replaces with the equipment. So this is the entire life cycle of the equipment, where proper maintenance. And when I talk about the GIS, geographic information, like the latitude and longitude information, where this windmill is located. Since there are a lot of equipments, windmills located in different areas, it is important for the organization to know where this equipment is located. So when the engineers or the technician comes and install, they capture the latitude and longitude information, so that I know that windmill 123 is located in a certain location, right? Windmill 124 is located in certain location. So it helps provides the company or the organization for visibility, how the equipments are located, where it is located, and what is the whether the inspection has been done for this equipment. We have enough spare parts available for this windmill, so that covers the entire life cycle, right? So this is the whole life cycle of the equipment. Again, this is all maintained in the system. System in the sense, and enterprise resource planning, the ERP system maintains all this information, capture all this records, so that helps, and this takes necessary actions for different departments. Right. Now I'm moving to the next slide. The business process flow, the EAM business process flow, which is again is similar to the previous slide, but it covers how in an ERP system this entries or the process flow is maintained. Right. Suppose, for example, again, if you take the same windmill as an example, to install the windmill, we need different components of the windmill, right? The blade, the motors, and then the engines, and then electricity, connectivity, power, and everything. So what it does is we we need to source that product. So who can supply the blades, who can manufacturing the blade, who can come and install the blade. So we call it them as a supplier who can supply the product, and who can supply. The procurement team can identify who can supply the product, right? So all these are all maintained by different teams. So the procurement teams, or whoever is going to procure the product, they call it as a procurement team who go and buy the product from the supplier. And and the project is again project at a high level. I'm going to install a windmill, 10 windmills around the college area. That means that is called as a project where 10 windmill needs to be installed. So we need to identify how many components are required, how many machineries are required. So that comes under the projects division. And inventory, how many spare parts are required, and in terms of service, at what interval the service needs to be conducted. So all this process needs to be captured within the ERP system. Once we have installed, and then the machine is running, we need to do a proper maintenance activity. The work order needs to be raised. Work order will contain, as I said, it will carry the asset number or the equipment number, and then work order generated, and who is going to do this activity, how many engineers are involved, how many technicians are involved. That is called the task planning activity. And to conduct that task, how much material is required, because sometime when we go and visit again the windmill, it might that the component or the blade might be a faulty. So we need to ask for the particular material, so that it will get replaced with the new parts. And then how much resource is required. If we want to take down the one blade from that windmill, it needs at least 10 or 15 staffs to 15 technician to bring down that equipment. We need an heavy machineries to bring down that equipment. So we need to plan for the number of technicians, right? So that is called resource planning activity. And then forecasting. So if this equipment is going for a repair, we need to forecast how much time this would require, whether it is a week, 1 week, or 10 days, or 1 month. If the particular windmill needs to be brought down, or the operations is not happening, we need to forecast this activity, so that we can inform the team or the head of department in advance, saying that yes, this equipment will not function for some time. As we are doing a maintenance activity, so that everyone is keep informed. And then the work scheduling, and we need to schedule the work on every day or every week. We need to have an work breakdown structure, that is the WBA structure, where we will break up the work, assign to the resource, they will do the task, and then they will do all the maintenance and the repairing activity. And once the work order activity is completed, then the work order will get closed, or the update that how much material was used against the work order, how much resources was used, how many tasks we assigned. So it will give the complete life history of the work order, where the work order is raised here and work order is closed. So from the start to end, how much resource was utilized, how many spare parts was utilized, that would help in doing the asset performance. So if we are doing an general maintenance once in a month, once in a year, it is fine. But if you are doing a regular every day, if the asset is going for a maintenance, that means that health of the asset is health of the equipment is not good, doing well. That is why the asset performance plays a role, saying that yes, this asserts needs some urgent attention. We need to repair, or we need to take a call whether we need to dispose this windmill, or we need to do a proper maintenance. So all this data is getting captured in different areas. Human resource, why human resource is playing a role? We need how many resources humans required to do this activity. And for accounts payable, again, this is all standard ERP terminologies, which this may be new for you, but just for your information, these are all different areas within the ERP system. Account payables, in the sense, if we have purchased this item from this supplier, we need to pay. So the accounts payable module within the ERP system will process the payment. And again, in general ledger, in the sense, it records all the informations of the accounting entries. And the fixed assets. Fixed asset is nothing but the equipment masters. How many equipments are available, or machineries available in the asset register as asset master. And then the property management. Who manages? The entire activity needs to be managed by the particular property management team. So that, yes, I have hundreds of equipments which is managed by the property management team. So this gives the high level business process flow of how an equipment is managed, how an enterprise assets are managed within the landscape, and how this is managed, or how this is maintained within the ERP system. Right? This could be any ERP, whether it is an Oracle ERP or an SAP ERP. It's all the process is the same, only the difference in the word, the terminologies are different. So all this process are maintained within the ERP system. Without this information, a big organization cannot run. Like if you take an refiner, Reliance as an example, as a refiner industry, or if you take any industries within the regions, or if you take in any motor industries, which is in Hyundai, or whether it is in any other motor industry, this all, you will see all these components available in the landscape, which is a key component. Without this, an industry cannot run. Without this information, no one would have a visibility. Those olden days are gone, where all paper-based data entry, paper-based data inputs are all gone into the ERP system, which helps the entire team to know how many work orders were raised, how many work order has been closed, how many resources have been utilized. So these are all the key component which is required. Without this information, no one would be able to identify what has been used, right? So this is important in any industry, any organization. Okay, so now I'm moving to the next slide, where the asset maintenance, how an asset maintenance activities are being carried out. Right. So for to ascertain, again, and maintenance is an important activity. Whether it could be our vehicle which we are using, whether it's a bike or whether it's a car, maintenance is a key component. Buying an vehicle, buying an asset is one part, but maintenance is another major component. Without maintenance, and any equipment won't run. Say, for example, if you are using a bike, if you're using a car, it needs a proper maintenance. Without proper maintenance, the equipment will stop functioning, or do a malfunction, right? So to have all this maintenance activity carried out, again, this is also carried out within the ERP system. All it will say that when this asset was this particular equipment was purchased a year back on 22nd of February 2024. This was purchased, so this has a warranty of only 1 year or 2 years. After 1 year, either the warranty has to be extended, or goes out of warranty. So when it falls within the warranty, this parts can be replaced by the original equipment. We call it as an OEM supplier. If the equipment is supplied by the original equipment manufacturer, yes, they covers the warranty. If it goes beyond the warranty, then we need to identify the suitable suppliers to repair the spare parts, right? And meter readings, that there are equipments which has a meter. Every 10,000 kilometers, this needs an maintenance. Every 5,000 kilometers needs a maintenance. So all these are all captured. The data, for example, the odometer reading, which needs to be recorded every time, so that every 10,000 kilometers automatically tells alerts that your car is maintenance for due. For example, certain IoT cars, certain electric cars, which is running in the market, it automatically sends, instead of we do a proper maintenance, or we find that yes, it has reached 10,000 kilometers, I need to take my bike, or I need to take my car and give it to the service. Certain electric cars has already connected with the internet, so it tells, it automatically triggers that yes, it has reached 10,000 kilometer reading. So you will automatically receive an reminders or an WhatsApp message saying that your car has reached 10,000 kilometers. Please bring your car for service. So that is how the system triggers an alert. Or if you have all this information available in the ERP system or an enterprise asset management system, it automatically triggers an alerts saying that this my car is maintenance for due, and then how many spare parts purchased, and what is the work order work performed on that particular equipment, whether I replaced the battery, whether I replaced an wheel, or whether it's replaced the tire. Everything gets recorded within the asset maintenance, within the entire enterprise resource platform. And then the depreciation. Yeah, if you use a particular bike for 10 years or 15 years, that means the almost the asset is going to die, or asset is going to will not start functioning properly. So it is not idle for an industry or a big organization to keep the assets for 20 years or 25 years for based on the life cycle. Rather, we can dispose the assets so that depreciation, we will analyze. If I, for example, I purchased this asset for 10,000 rupees, and next 10 years, the 10th year, probably every year, for example, if we take 1,000 rupees as a depreciation, at the end of the 10th year, you would see the zero value. For 10 years, yes, this equipment was used, it has produced the result. At the end of 10th year, your depreciation value will become zero. So your book value is zero, while while the equipment is still running, the depreciation value has become zero. So it is worth to dispose the assets, or take the assets out of the organization and then buy a new assets. That is why the depreciation plays a role. So and then the downtime. If the equipment keeps on giving a downtime every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes, that means the equipment is faulty, that needs a maintenance, or we need to identify whether yes, this asset was purchased 10 years back or 15 years back, or certain cross the warranty period, or cross the certain life period, end of life. Then we need to dispose assets. So to capture all this information, it is nearly impossible. If it is a one asset, if we have one car, one bike, yes, we can at least we can track. But in an industry, in a big industry, it is very difficult to track all this information in a piece, in a manual logbook or in an Excel sheet. It needs an enterprise asset management system, right? So all these are all maintained within enterprise asset management system, which is part of the wide enterprise resource planning. Okay, so now I will move to the next slide. How it is being used in an industry, right? So we talked about different layers of how it is maintained, what is different MROs, how many inventories are maintained. So the data is the data centralization. So if this is used in an industry, data needs to be centralized. We cannot have multiple datas or multiple logbooks or manual logbooks at different places. So the data needs to be centralized in one system, whether it could be an ERP or it could be any other enterprise asset management system. The data has to sit. Data in the sense, what is the asset number, what is the equipment, what is the life cycle of the equipment, what is the warranty, how many spare parts. So there has to be an system in place to centralize the data. So that is how the enterprise resource planning system or the enterprise asset management system plays an primary role. So what that happens is it is replacing the Excel sheets, right? We need to have the asset register, the equipment register in place, one platform, an asset register which is recorded within the ERP as part of the asset master, that will have a single platform to have all the thousands and thousands of assets within the organization. And that is why the data is the key. If we do any business analytics or any um, analysis, or do a reporting, or if you use any BI tool, business intelligence tool, the data is the key. Unless you don't have a database, like for example, if you are using an any of the telecom providers, whether it could be in Reliance Geo or Reliance um, Airtel. See, data, the respective telecom providers will hold our information, our name, our date of birth, our the address of the information. So everything is a data, right? The telecom providers has entire your life history of what is your birth date, what is your when did you purchase the SIM, how much data consumption you are using it. So all the and that is how you get in multiple advertisements into your mailbox or an SMS or through WhatsApp message that you are using so much of data. You can go for an different platform or go for a different plan, or if you are using only messaging system, you can go for a different plan. So we call this as an data. So based on the your consumption, based on your data, it gives visibility to the organization. Yes, assert thousands of asserts is sitting in this platform, in a platform, and it will triggers. It can generate the work order, can generate the preventive maintenance, and one database. So that is how the data centralization is playing a major key. So when you go to, when you after when you move from your college to and go to any industry, people will start talking about data centralization and one single platform asserts the key database. So that is why I thought of highlighting this. Data is the primary key in this in this organization or in any organization, right? Okay, so in continuing of that previous slide, identifying the problem. If you have the data in place, you can easily trigger an alert, trigger any notification. Yeah, so it can identify a problem. If you have connected the equipment to an to any enterprise asset management, it will tell that yes, this equipment has odometer reading has crossed 10,000 kilometers. So next preventive maintenance is due. Or it can also even the certain latest technology equipments will automatically predict the problem instead of we waiting for the problem, identifying the problem once the machine is breakdown. It can automatically predict the problem in advance and automatically tells that hey, your equipment is going to fail in another few minutes or few hours. You change this spare parts. So prediction is a primary key. Now every equipment, the latest technology or the software providers, all are now focusing on predictive maintenance instead of once equipment is down, they it is an identifying the problem later. But now all the latest technologies are all predicting the problem in advance, saying that your equipment is going to fail or your equipment is going to stop in few hours, few days. Get this preventive maintenance done. So it is that is why the enterprise asset management connected with you would have heard about the IoT platforms, Internet of Things, where when you connect different sensors, when you connect different sensors to the equipment, it automatically tells that your equipment is due for maintenance or due for renewal. Right. So as part of the inspection process, if predicting is one side, but once you identify the problem, then the inspection starts. Yes, why the equipment has gone for a repair. So you create a checklist. You will conduct the inspection. You will strategize what is the activity which I need to do, and then you do an inspection. Identify the inspection team, and you review the data, and then it goes back to your the knowledge base or the knowledge garden, where yes, I have conducted all the inspection, I've completed the work orders, so that the data is stored, and next time when the same problem comes, you know what was the reason. If you don't have the proper mechanism or data capture in place, you would not know that last month or last year while the same repair was carried out, I would not have any information in place. If we have everything available within the system, like as in ERP or the as a EAM system, you would know that there is a problem, and it is easy for you to identify and fix the problem instead of doing again an R&D or going deep dive into the problem. If we have a proper record in place, you know what is the problem and how to fix the problem, right? Okay, and the next one is the resolution guide. So once you identify all the problems, or once you have all the problems in place, you have proper data in place, so that would help in identifying the fixing the problem later. So, creating a knowledge base is a key. You have identified the problem, you have fixed the problem, but that root cause of the problem, the root cause analysis needs to be stored somewhere so that it can identify the patterns of potential failures or identify the current condition and get these issues resolved on a timely basis. Okay, so this is in a high level how an industry in an industry how this helps streamline your asset management. You give some high level visibility of the assets and configure your solution, and so that your entire life cycle is managed. And in terms of this is again an IT language, software as a service, or your system can be either deployed within your network or it can go on cloud. There are a lot of right now the people are talking about SaaS platform, everything on the cloud. No need to have your hardwares and software in place. Everything is on the cloud so that you can manage everything without having any hardwares in place within your premises, and then meeting the regulatory and compliance requirement, and intelligently automatically planning the activity. So that's how it helps the organization. And benefits of EAM, it helps in return of investment. If the equipment keeps on failing, you have problem. So it helps the organization if we have everything in place. So decision making, it helps in decision making. It helps in eliminating the paperwork or in human errors. And if it obviously it provides the efficiency, it improved customer experience, and then effectively utilize the assets. And you can make a big task to a simple task, so that if you have all this effective maintenance in place, right? Okay, so I will quickly touch upon. I have only 2 slides left. I think time is the 1 hour is done, but I won't take more than 2 minutes. Okay, now everybody is talking about AI, MLM, machine language, and MDM, data management, and everything. So in an industry, I think once you start the next year, you would heard about lot. I think you would already heard about AI now, how AI is helping in enterprise asset management. If we have an RFID in place, like I was talking about the electric vehicles, a lot of vehicles is fitted with RFID chips. It could be active and passive. It automatically triggers an alert sort to the customer saying that your equipment is going faulty, so you bring the assets. So it's all fitted with RFID chips or RFID tool, where it triggers automatically. It sends the alerts, whether it could be an aeroplane, or it could be a ship, or it could be in any vehicle, or it could be a rail, where it automatically tells that yes, your equipment is going to faulty. Keep keep the equipment's service, or keep the plan for the service. So if we have the IoT solution, the Internet of Things solution in place, like RFID or a barcode or any other technology which is passing the information, that is how the artificial intelligence is playing a role. It automatically tells artificially, it tells you what is going to go fault, or what is going to go wrong, right? So that's the AI concept. So I think that's all for now. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Hope I have covered even a high level overview of what is enterprise asset management and how it is helping.
Sir, since you are working in EA manager in catering services at Emirates, so what are the software tools which you are using in your department, sir? Actually,
Yeah.
since you have said that previously we are using a spreadsheets, Excel, etc. So currently, what are the AI tools and the software you are using in your industry for managing such huge data?
Right. So what we use an Oracle ERP system, which have maintain all this information. Oracle is one of the top product where all the asserts, all the equipments are maintained. And also we use one of the IBM product, which is Maximo. That is also one of the top product where the enterprise asset management data are maintained. So if you have any tool, not necessary that you need to use an Oracle or SAP, but yes, if you have a standard product in place, I think that helps you a lot in managing the data or maintaining the data.
Thank you, sir. Sir, then in a catering department, you are working as a EM manager. So you already said about the EM components like uh, predictive maintenance and also analytics and reporting to etc. So in your department, on what aspects you are utilizing the predictive maintenance?
Okay. So preventive maintenance. Okay, in the catering we have multiple equipments in place, right? So it could be an machine which produces the meals, or it could be a packing machine, or it could be an laser cutting machines. So all these machines are high value assets. If the maintenance are not properly managed, then that equipments can go for an may not function properly. So what needs to be done is, if we have the proper work orders in place, preventive activity in place, that automatically triggers work orders. So you need to have a proper work orders created based on the different schedules. So this equipment goes for certain maintenance, this equipment goes for a certain activity. So all these are all maintained within the ERP system, which helps the business to generate the work order and action it on time. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, then again, actually, you are actually importing all the food items and etc. Into the Emirates flights actually. So how you are managing that the safety compliances also, because in aircraft and all we already know about that. Mostly the factor of safety will be 1 to 1.5. So how we are managing the requirements of the customers and also the safety of the flights etc. So the procurement of the materials etc.
Right. Okay. So in terms of procuring these spare parts, as you know, this is all high value assets. So it first it goes through a proper quality checks whether this equipment is fit for fixing it on a plane or fixing it on an whether it could be in any spare parts. It goes for a proper quality analysis, thorough checking, validation by the QA and QC engineers, and then it also goes for a trial run. It cannot go directly for an um, get into the operations. It goes for proper run, and then if it all works perfectly for in an industry, for if it runs for certain days, and then if it works as a trial run, then only it comes for the deployment. So every equipments, whether it is a small equipment or it's a high value equipment or a big equipment, it goes for a proper health check, in terms of quality check, in terms of trial runs, or in terms of any failures. So it has to go for an rigorous testing. The engine will be run in a standalone environment for 1,000 hours or 2,000 hours, and which checks as in a conditional environment. If it works perfectly in that environment, then only it goes for a deployment.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Sir, can you tell us your experience in Expo 2020 in Dubai, sir? So, on go through your LinkedIn profile, I have learned that you have performed some various things in Expo 2020 Dubai. So, can you kindly give us something about how was your experience in that, sir?
Okay. So Expo 2020 happens, I think, every once in 4 years or 5 years. So last time when it happened here in UAE, it is one of the major events. what happens is a lot of industries come and do the present the solution. So from different countries, they come to this place and display the equipment. For example, and latest IoT machines have been manufactured or been produced. That will be shown as a display, so that all customers can come and see that yes, this new IoT or new equipment which has lot of sensors in place or alerts in place or an safety vest or a safety equipment has been recently launched. So that will be presented by the manufacturer, the original equipment manufacturer, and displayed. It is like an expo event which is happening in different places. So whoever is manufacturing the product will come to this place, so that it gives a lot of visibility. So in case if you are developing a product, or if you are as part of your final year project, if you are developing any projects, and if that product is innovative, and if this product can help different customers or different end users, you can also present it saying that yes, this product is going to help the community or going to help the public. That will be presented in a major event like this. So a lot of that, like last when it happened last time, a lot of vendors came here, presented their solution, and that triggers some commercial activity, so that yes, this product is available in the market. This product can help the business, can automate the business by, if some packing is activities happening manually. If we have these machines in place, it can reduce the number of hours, or it can improve the efficiency, so that the process in the industry can happen fast. So that is why all these expos events are happening in different places.
Mike.
Yeah, does this answers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I have another question. Sir, what about procure to pay system, sir? How is Emirates is doing with procure to pay system, sir?
Okay, so procure to pay is again another component within ERP system. The procure to pay is if you want to buy an product, for example, if any product needs to be purchased in an organization, it goes through a proper procurement process. So the procurement team needs to be contact, and then for example, I need to buy an electric machine, vending machine. I need to find the vendor who is going to supply. There are thousands of vendors available who are manufacturing this product. So I need to identify the suitable source of the product, so that that machine can be purchased from the right vendor, and that can be implemented. So that is how the procure to pay module plays a key role. Identifying the product, giving and floating an request for proposal, and shortlisting the product, and then finalizing the product, and then we issue the purchase order. So it is an end-to-end sourcing until the PO. So that is the entire procure to pay solutions. There are a lot of procure to pay solutions available in the market. In ERP itself, there is a procure to pay module. There are third-party systems like Coupa, like an SAP Ariba, a lot of other solutions available in the market, which will help you in getting this P2P solutions implemented.
Sir, thank you, sir. And finally, one more question. For entering into the ERP section, as a student, what are the things we have to learn and equip with ourselves, sir, to enter this?
I think that's a good question for all the mechanical students. If you are going into an mechanical related industry, I think you need to understand the end-to-end process. So if once you complete your final year, and then you go into an industry, you need to understand the end-to-end. If you know the end-to-end process, how the for example, and how the material is coming in, how the material is being produced, how the material is assembled, how the material is doing quality check, how the material is deployed in the market, and how the equipment is being sold. For example, again, if you take um, uh, any Kia or in any Hyundai cars, there are thousands of components available within the vehicle. Every spare parts is all sourced by different vendors, assembled by someone, designed, developed, design. A lot of CAD designs go, a lot of other designs go into that, and prototype, doing a quality analysis. So it is an end-to-end cycle which we should know as a mechanical student. You need to know the life cycle of the process. So in an industry environment, if you start understanding the entire end-to-end process and often yeah, what is happening within the industry, that would give a complete visibility. And then so that yes, when sourcing a product, how that process happened, when the inventory management happened, how the inventory is getting issued, spare part is getting issued, how the equipments are being sourced, how the items are assembled, how the products are being sold to the customer, how the marketing happens, what is the trend, what is the volume of how the items is going selling up. Certain, if you see Toyota Innova is sold at an, most of the customers in the Indian customers are buying it. Why the other product is not being sold? Why? What is the reason for that? So why, maybe comfort, maybe the value for money. So you need to understand the entire life cycle of how the process is being happened, so that that will give you complete visibility. Once you know the entire process within the organization, within an industry, that would help you in deciding if when you move to an ERP product, that ERP is nothing but an enterprise resource planning. It will have the inventory management, it will have a sales order management, it will have a purchase order management, it have an maintenance, health, safety. All these are all available within the ERP product. So when you choose whether you take the ERP training, when you go for any training, you would start learning this specific modules. That is why understanding the process, not only specific to one area. If you the whole the landscape, if you start slowly start understanding the process, I think that would help you a lot in choosing the right ERP product.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Good morning, sir. I am Faisal. What inspired you to specialize in enterprise asset management system, sir?
Okay. Okay. So again, I was also my mechanical engineer, passed out in 2003. So when I worked as an construction, I was working as when in the fabrication side. It was a design engineer when we fabricate a lot of vessels and containers. So at that time, we produce vessels for an oil rigs and containers. So at that time, we know where this material is coming, where this is getting fabricated, and how this being product is assembled, how and quality check is done. So when you get into an industry, you would know how the entire process happens. So that would give you a complete visibility. Yes, but to produce the product, to get the certain product assembled, there are a lot of supply chain activity happening at the back end. If you slowly understand the concept of supply chain activity, procurement activity, and sales activity, that will help you in analyzing that, because the enterprise resource planning is a wide area which I think some most of them have very less visibility. So understanding the entire process, that will help you in making your career in that enterprise resource platform, resource planning activity. So process is important, understanding the system is important. Choosing the system is later, whether it is Oracle or whether it is an ERP is later. But you need to know the industry process, how an industry works, how an industry events happening, how the material is coming in and how the material is going out. So understanding the concept is the primary area. I think when you go do an implant visit or an any other study, you need to understand the entire end-to-end process. once you understand the process, that will help you in designing the process, helping the business to design. So that is why it inspired me in choosing this ERP areas to progress.
How do you see about this field in next 5 years?
Okay, so next 5 years, yes, a lot of AI tools, a lot of artificial intelligence, IoT is playing a role, chat bot is playing a role. So you need to go while artificial intelligence is playing a role and your IoT is playing a role. Definitely, the data is a key, as I said in the previous one. The data is a primary key. If we have the data in place, you can do wonders. Capturing the data is the key component. So you need to focus on how the data can be captured and how the data can be used effectively, and that would help in doing the artificial AI in place or data analytics, predictive analytics. So obviously, ERP and EAM will never get retired. Whether artificial intelligence comes in place or any other tools comes in place, data storage is the main key component. So ERP and enterprise asset management plays a key role in saving the data or keeping the data in place.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, you have said that before procuring any material for catering in the Emirates, you have said that pre-planned all the things. Suppose in case if there is any wastage, means how you are managing the waste, food waste, etc. in catering services using the EAM.
Yeah. Okay. So in any catering industry or any organization, waste is waste is non-negotiable. So there will be a waste. So there are many tools and technologies now available. How they are now even an artificial intelligence tool is now playing a role. It automatically sense and identify that this product on a particular aircraft is not consumed by the consumer. So it will automatically tell that yes, to the specific sector, this product is not consumed properly or not taken by the customer, and it automatically predicts and tells that yes, don't use this product in this particular sector, or because the customer is not using it, or if an a flight is flying from Chennai to Bombay and somebody is not eating this particular food, then it is going as a waste, right? So it automatically the AI tool will which analyze and tells that this food is going waste, or when it comes back to the offloading, or when the aircraft is offloaded and food is going to the tray, it analyzes and sends the food and says that yes, this food is not being used continuously. Why don't you change this product with A at B? So that is why the tools helps the organization and predicts and reduce the food wastage. Obviously, food wastage will be there, but how we can reduce the food wastage or the carbon footprints or the food reduce percentage can be reduced. So obviously, technology is playing a role at every place, and alerts and identifies that food wastage can be reduced. Thank you.
Sir, any questions?
No, thank you. If there are any questions, you can ask me. Just want to know how was the session? Any feedback?
The session was really enlightening, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of third year Mechanical Engineering Department, we are grateful for having your presence today, sir. We look forward to learn more about ERP in the future from you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you again for organizing session, Vignesh and team, and thank you for listening to me for last 1.5 hours. And I wish you all the best for a wonderful career.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.